Hello, America. Dave Hodges here, host of the Common Sense Show. We are the show that is freeing America one enslaved mind at a time. Thank you so much for joining us. And we have a revelation for you. We've got a lot of revelations for you, but one in particular has to do with your retirement. I was talking to an investor, and I walked away with a real concern about 401ks. I began to research this, and I found that PBS had actually done a great documentary on this. Not biased, not liberal, just factual. And then I found a gentleman named Hilton Smith whose PhD thesis is on this, and they're all coming to the same conclusion. Your 401k is more than likely ripping you off, or rather, the people behind the 401k, whether it be Wells Fargo, Chase, whoever it is, if they are not a fiduciary, you are probably being ripped off. And that's the conclusion a lot of people are drawing. And because we have a large audience from middle age through elderly years and retired years, I wanted to bring this to you as a public service announcement. This is very, very serious. One study that was done on 401ks found that when they are not a fiduciary, and I'll explain that term in a second, when they're not a fiduciary, the person is losing to fees $155,000 in change. That's the average figure they found in this study. Now, what's interesting is in the PBS interview, they asked a couple of the high profile firms that do 401k, associated with some of the banks. Oh, they've never heard of the study. That's not believable. This was a major study. There are fees upon fees, and most of you who have a 401k just assume you're doing well and you never check it. What we're finding is this, and I'm just going to give you the round numbers here. When you put 100,000, let's say you have $100,000 and it's going towards your 401k. If you start this over a 40-year period from working to retirement, you're basically keeping about 36% of your money, but you're taking 100% of the risk and you're putting up 100% of the money, and 66% of the money is going to fees. In other words, there are people that are being handsomely paid to direct you towards products and services that benefit the institution they represent. Now, on the other hand, you can choose to go with a fiduciary, but there are fiduciary agreements between client, investor, and sponsor, broker, management, and they're loose. So all fiduciary agreements are not made equally. Some are, some aren't. It takes a lawyer to undo this. The average person does not have the skills and the knowledge to understand what a competent fiduciary agreement is. Now, a fiduciary agreement basically means this, that I no longer can represent something else and steer you towards a product, make you take abnormal risk given your age and your economic stratification status, whatever it would be. We have to direct you in what's in your best interest. And there can be no competition with that, and I have to put your interest, if I were your broker, over my interest. The problem is some of these agreements have the whereases and if then agreements that negate a lot of the protections people think they're getting when they have a fiduciary agreement. They all need to come under examination. And I will tell you, you're a fool if you do not go to an attorney and have them break down your agreement and tell you what your risk level is. It's a mess. I mean, people are being ripped off, and some people, yeah, I saw in the PBS documentary, one lady was interviewed, and she had discovered this, and she was in her late 60s, and she says, "I'm gonna have to work for the rest of my life because of this crap. I've been totally ripped off and didn't even know it." Now, it might be legal, but it certainly is not ethical or moral. And the bottom line is you need to get your IRA or your 401k away from Wall Street. Totally 100%. Now, I'm going to give you an alternative. I represent Noble Gold. And I'm going to say this to you up front because we give this warning every time I do an ad for Noble Gold that there are no guarantees and past performance is not indicative of future expectations. It can't be. Now, unfortunately, on Wall Street, they're not giving you these warnings. They have the fine print that no one ever bothers to read. And so, therefore, what I'm telling you is that Noble Gold can get you out of this mess once and for all. They can extract the 401k, extract your retirement. And by the way, the banks can seize it if they get in trouble. Dodd-Frank 2010, you've heard me talk about it. But forget Dodd-Frank for a second. They can extract your retirement. They can back it with gold, an appreciating asset that's reached an all-time high at over $2,800 an ounce, and you'll own it. They can't touch it. Wall Street's not involved. Fiduciary doesn't matter. You're your own fiduciary. Sounds like a pretty good deal to me. They'll convert this for you. This is a great, great opportunity for all of you to take a look at this and say, I don't have to be a victim of the system. And I'd go keyword search, okay? 401k investigation by PBS, Hilton Smith, primary consultant on the show. And I got to tell you, this was revelatory. I was surprised PBS did something this dramatic against Wall Street and the banking system. But not only that, other people come into play into this. All you can do right now is just call Noble Gold, 877-646-5347, 877-646-5347.